Heartfelt Conversations. I'm Iskra Petrova, a clarity and confidence coach, a self empowerment mentor, and this is my utmost pleasure to connect with members from the Blooming Confidence Club every week at this time, 2 p.m. UK, on Thursday to talk about topics dear to our hearts. I love to support heart center leaders, entrepreneurs, people who facilitate transformation, change, and healing in others, like coaches, mentors, and therapists to step into their power to discover their light and to start showing up as empowered creators of their lives. So now I'm going to bring here in the studio some amazing people with whom we already started this conversation on the topic of radical honesty on Tuesday. And I want to invite you to join us with your comments in the chat that we will all see. I will bring them also on screen. Connect with us, share your love with us, share your support, and also ask questions, share your comments. I really love to co create with all my audiences online and in person. So let me bring Johnny Klein and Catherine, and I think Michael is also joining us. As soon as he connects with us, he will also be here with us. So, hi Johnny, hi Catherine, how are you feeling?
Hi, hi.
Hello, good
Fine, thank
evening.
you.
Yes, it is good evening for you, Johnny, because you're connecting from where?
So I'm in Vietnam right now, in Hanoi, the capital, and I'll be
Yes,
joining here. All of us are international, so it's lovely to connect.
absolutely. Yeah, I am connecting and we're broadcasting from Bulgaria. And Catherine, you're joining us from where?
I'm joining from UK and it is a beautiful afternoon.
Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me and to offer lots of value to our viewers, to the people who are watching us live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And please, when you comment, please tell us where are you joining us from, because the chat is going to show only the comments but not the location. So I would really love to be able to address you, and then of course to go and check and follow with all your comments. So let me just see if we have any comments. Not yet. I'm opening the chat box. So coming to the topic of radical honesty. How are you feeling after we open this conversation on Tuesday? And I first want to start with that. After you share, how are you feeling right now? How do you experience life at this very moment? What is alive in you, especially when you hear this word honesty, and especially radical honesty? But I want to ask you, the follow-up question would be, do you feel that there is space for more honesty and more radical honesty in your life? So feel free to share, and I'm also inviting our viewers to share with us. And you can type hashtag live when you're joining live, or hashtag replay when you are watching the replay. So yeah, how are you feeling when the topic of honesty is brought to the table? And do you feel that there is space in your life at this stage of your life for more honesty?
Yeah, so I'll begin. It's interesting this week that this theme comes up because I've recently transitioned to Hanoi from the south, a much smaller city. And so it's often on my mind is how honest can I be, and what does that actually look like? Because the physical space that I'm in right now, it kind of forces to look at honesty in a genuine way. Um, and what that means for me relating to my values. See, honesty is something I've had to kind of be in self-understanding, because we're all in these micro universes of our honesty. So bits and pieces of us go through different paths of honesty, which becomes a belief towards a physical honesty, but also an internal. So looking at really internal. And it's funny, today I was, after work, I went to one of my favorite vegetarian restaurants. And one of the, so in AA, I'm not in AA, but there's a phrase in there saying, take your luck as it would happen. and don't try to make the universe be to your own desires, your own wants, your own, just kind of accept it. And when I got to the restaurant today, all the lights were off. The power was off completely. Had I been a few years ago in that micro universe of honesty, I would become frustrated. I would say, well, I'll choose a different restaurant. But as I've been practicing meditation and honesty with myself, and that phrase, that mantra of take my luck as it would have it, and don't try to force something differently, what my mind led to was having a mindful meal and seeing what that experience is like. The honesty of all of my senses coming together with the sounds, the lighting, the lack thereof of the conveniences, but still enjoying it completely. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, of honesty and what that means right now.
Thank you for sharing, and I'm really grateful for bringing up the memories of a special sensory experience. I know that some of my friends who have been doing sensory participative theater, they were telling me about an experience intentionally going to restaurants in darkness. I don't know whether it's about putting a blindfold or totally having no lights whatsoever, so that they can completely connect with their partner with whom they would be dining, and also totally savor all the tastes and the smell and the sound and the touch and everything, all other senses but the sight. So maybe this was a gift to you.
It
And
definitely was.
yes, so I'm grateful for you bringing this up today. Catherine, how is the topic of honesty alive for you today? And since we started talking about it on Tuesday, but maybe before that.
Yeah, it is something very, very interesting for me, because, first of all, because of my shyness, of not being confident, sometimes I missed being completely honest with someone. Like a friend, I'll just hold back and not be honest, and just put out there my opinion. But since I started learning the importance of being honest, first of all, honest with myself, things started changing seriously, and in a very useful and beneficial way, even to me and even towards others. So, with calm, with respect, I honestly express my opinion. And obviously, you still, I still take care of what the other person can feel or can. I don't want to put them in a situation of being uncomfortable, but still, with compassion, empathy, I express I express myself honestly. And having a new friend, it has been very useful, because then I could express myself exactly the way I am, naturally, honestly, and it really has a very big impact. So, I think honesty, being honest to yourself and being honest to others, is absolutely beneficial.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Catherine. And you're bringing something really important. Now, meeting with a new person who entered your life, you, at least what this is what I hear, is you find it easier to open up and to share yourself in an authentic way, which also brings the contrast that sometimes we find it harder to be open, to be authentic, to be real, to be honest with the people who have been with us throughout our whole life. And I will just make a little pause here to welcome everyone who is here with us, because I see people joining us. And please share with us where are you joining from. Welcome to this weekly broadcast, the Heartfelt Conversations. We're talking today on the topic of radical honesty. I'm Iskra Petrova, clarity and and confidence coach and self empowerment mentor. And here with me are Catherine and Johnny, who are members of the Blooming Confidence Club. And we are having this heartfelt conversation, sharing ourselves with each other here, but also with you, offering you value, offering you different topics to expand into self understanding, self awareness, self trust, self worth, and self love. Ultimately, all these factors being necessary so that we thrive in life as empowered creators of our lives. So let's continue. I have a favorite question that I usually ask during our biweekly co-creation circles, and it is how how would your life be different if you were 10 times more honest? And I want to invite you to look at this topic from these two perspectives. Being honest with yourself, what does it require for you to be honest? I will just give a hint. First, it's self acceptance, and also being 10 times more honest with the people around us. How your life, personal life, business life, self expression, visibility, impact would change if you would give yourself permission to be honest, to be more honest, and to be 10 times more honest. What is coming up for you? And this is also an invitation to everyone who's joining us live and also who's watching the replay. Please share with us and we will come back and comment.
Okay, so what's coming up for me right now, radical honesty and radical acceptance, I think go hand in hand. You can't really accept it one for the other, at least when it's out of balance. That is when difficulties arise or are manifested. But when you're able to accept the presence as it is and to be more honest, things start to come together more authentically. Maybe it's still difficult if you're going through a difficult time, but at least it will be more genuine in what's coming up. And it always ties back in radical acceptance. There's a meditation teacher, her name is Tara Brock, and she comes back, especially in difficult conversations and situations, to the RAIN method, RAIN, recognize, attend, and then the last one I think is quite important is nurturing it. And so being 10 times more radically honest is that sense of nurturing. Had I personally, coming back to me, be more radically honest, it would allow me to have more engagements, showing up a lot more, showing up in the sense of not only a selfish honesty, because I shoulds and woulds and what is possible, but also bringing whatever life experience I've gained, whatever little part I have in this universe, to be sharing that, to be forthcoming, even in uncertain, difficult, uncomfortable moments. It comes back to recognizing, accepting, and living our values. And even when my values, your values are being tested and tested again, being able to shine our light through, being able to live through that. And for me, it would spark more satisfaction, more enthusiasm, and actually have a life that's being able to bring momentum forward rather than a feeling of stuckness, a feeling of complacency, even a sense of, as getting older, growing, watching others getting older, not being stagnant, always continuing and being momentous forwardly, which is quite important because although we like to have life be okay and calm and at ease, sometimes that can be way too comfortable, way too much, and to the point of not being able to grow and to learn and to magnetize what maybe we wanted when we did have a lot of that momentum, when those thoughts were a part of us. So I think me still being in my 20s, carrying that forward and not forgetting that So that's what's coming up for me.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Johnny. Honesty in its essence is being connected with our truth. When we talk about honesty from this perspective, um, from the perspective of authenticity and being truthful to who we are, and sharing it in thought or sharing it in words. And here we don't speak about being brutally direct and saying exactly what we think to the other person or even to ourselves, judging, criticizing, belittling, because we all go through that. We all have some moments. We all get frustrated by other people, and we think that we might be honest, telling them exactly how much we hurt and what is our pain, because there are ways to express that, to express it using the means of heartfelt communication, of empathic communication, using different approaches, nonviolent communication. Honesty is about recognizing what is going on, recognizing who we are, and it helps, very much helps. Actually, it is a foundation to reach to this level of practicing honesty when we know who we are. You mentioned respecting our values. When we develop this awareness, because it doesn't come automatically, it's not by default. We are not being taught to practice, to learn to talk about our values, to talk about our needs, to talk about our emotions. When we develop this deep self-awareness, then we don't have as much hesitation to be honest, because we know what we're stepping on. I know that my values are this particular set. Hence, I can talk about it because I know that this is non negotiable for me, because I know that this is what directs or dictates or motivates my actions, what forms my mindset. So then it's so much easier to be honest and to understand that even when I make mistake or another person makes mistake, it is because some of the needs are not being met. It is because we're feeling uncomfortable, because the environment is changing. But when we know who we are, then it's so much easier to open space for honesty. And I want to invite everyone who's watching us to share. Do you agree with the things that we're saying here? Because I know that there are so many different perspectives. As today, if you see, I posted all over social media. I was really shocked to read a post by someone who said that they have followed the guidance, or at least this is what I understood, by someone telling them that speaking about your emotions is actually bleeding near sharks. So this could be only the case when you are in a hostile environment, when you feel threatened and you close yourself, you shut down yourself, and you don't talk about your emotions. You're not honest in your expression because you are doing it as a self-preservation approach or survival. You're in a survival mode. But in general, and it's been a very active conversation on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Go and check my profiles. You can find me everywhere as the Iskra Petrova. All my social media handles, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere, Pinterest, I'm with this handle. Look at this very interesting conversation. To talk about our feelings, to talk about our emotions, is actually to be truthful to ourselves, to be in our humanity. And when we feel we're not allowed to do that, it creates huge negative impact on our sense of well-being. To not be allowed to be us, to be in our fullness, in our completeness. I'm still very emotional and very passionate about this topic, because this is something very fresh. But let me take a breath. And I want to invite you to check for yourself, what are the areas in which you feel you are pressured or not allowed to be honest, where you feel that something is restricting your free self-expression, one of which is to be authentic, to be honest. So, Catherine, I would love also to hear from you. I switched a bit, but whatever comes is welcome to be shared. So, what is your point of view?
Okay. Rem- um, Taking in consideration what today, this morning, we're talking about with a group of other coaches, we're talking about uh, one episode that one of them had working in a group, um, that they had a vision and a purpose, to fulfill. That at a certain point there was like um, a breakdown of opinion. They split in two groups. So the minor, a small group was challenged to speak up, to say, to be honest, but they were afraid because the bigger group was more powerful. They had more voice. They did, so so she was asking for advice. I said, well, if what you think that they are breaking the initial vision, and um, they are changing everything, and you are not in accordance with what they are saying, the best thing is just to stand up and tell your truth, and be honest, because it's not beneficial, because then all the work they did is just lost. So she said, yes, okay, we how can I do it? I said, well, you have to consider the minority, the small group. What are they thinking about? How do they feel about it? And then encourage the person, encourage them by creating a safe place where they can talk about it, and encourage each other to be truthful to their values, to their and then after, tell the truth with empathy, um, compassion, but be truthful. Otherwise, it is going to be a conflict, and you will not be comfortable anymore in the group, in the whole group. So
Mhm.
sometimes it can be really challenging, but
Yes. Yeah.
together, uh, there is always a way to find a better solution for everybody.
Yes, yeah, you're very right that it can be very challenging, and it can be very challenging when relationships have been formed over months or years, sometimes weeks, when there is very strong dominance of physical energy, of the spiritual energy, and when someone is not feeling safe, is feeling pressured, is feeling small, it's not really easy. That's why, if you remember the work that we did with handling hard conversations, I emphasized on the fact that we need to follow a protocol to create a safe space in which everyone who is invited to take part in this hard conversation or vulnerable conversation, or whichever word you choose to use, so that everyone feels equal, everyone feels respected, and there are ways to make this type of request. There is a way to choose even physically safe environment. You cannot go into the office of the boss and feel safe and free to open up and tell them that you're not happy with their managerial style, right? You better do that in a way with preparation outside of the office, in a place where you energetically, physically, even socially, you feel equal, so that there is this mental and emotional, even spiritual space and sense of equality, so that you can subconsciously feel free to open up and to share what you're thinking. So this is really very valid point, Catherine. And another thing that I want to add to that is when we are part of the groups, and there have been so many studies and experiments, we don't always feel free to express our own particular different opinion, because we have this instinct to belong, to be part of the tribe, to be part of the herd. So we have to take account of all these different factors and be more loving, tender, and kind to ourselves, and not blame ourselves for not stepping up, not defending someone, not telling our truth, and only look for ways to learn from this experience. So next time when a new opportunity presents itself, to feel more empowered to talk about it. And while I'm saying that, I still remember situations from my childhood, one particular in which I didn't step up to defend a boy against the bullies in the class. And it's been for years I have been tormenting myself before I started doing this inner work and understanding why I did behave that, to discover my own fears, because I was also bullied. So I wasn't in a position to step up for someone else because I was crushed in a different way, and not from the same people. So maybe they would listen to me, but I didn't feel this inner internal strength to go there and step up. I simply felt the pain of this poor boy because I was feeling a similar pain. So there are many factors. Life is so complex. It could be also simple, but I want to say that there is so much information available. There's so many healing, counseling techniques, therapies. And sometimes when you watch videos or when you listen or read about some advices, things look really easy, and you think that these people, they have it all, and why am I not able, why do I struggle? It's not as easy as it seems. And also the people who um, succeed once in handling some aspect of a hard situation doesn't mean that next day or next month they are not going to find themselves in a different complex or challenging situation. But the point is to constantly strive to extract the most of what we carry inside, and also to connect, to relate with the people who we resonate with. There are so many, as I said, we're really blessed to have to live in the age of internet and connectedness across spaces, across time. Now we're doing this live broadcast, then you will be able to watch the replay. Maybe you're watching the replay right now, and there is no limitation to the information, and there is no right or wrong, the only right or the only wrong. So we have to trust our inner guidance. And here again, I'm bringing the point about the importance of our personal values. When you develop your system of personal values, then it's so easy to breathe and to know and to not worry in advance, because you will know that when the time comes for you to make a choice, to make a decision, you know that you have already cultivated, you have developed that. So that's why I'm saying that it is a continuous process of um, exploring yourself, of growth, of mirroring each other, the way we're doing here, because I'm hearing you and I'm learning an aspect, a word, a sentence from you. I'm taking an example that is enriching my personal experience. You're doing the same. I hope to be reading soon your comments under the replays. We are in this together, and the way we are looking at our personal life is definitely influencing someone else who may not even share with us, but they're taking us as role model, if not in general, maybe in one particular aspect of our self-expression.
Yeah.
So coming back to my question, and this is also a question to our viewers: how would your life change if you would be 10 times more honest? And in which particular area of your life would you feel that honesty is really welcome right now? And while you are getting ready to speak up, I'm saying welcome to the people who are joining us right now, because I see new people are joining the live stream. Please type hashtag live and where are you connecting with us from. So, is this a very scary question? I see there is some silence here.
Does.
We can't hear you, Johnny. I don't know if anything
Sorry.
changed. Yeah,
Yep.
okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yep. A couple of buttons to push here. So, in considering further in that question, reflecting on what I previously said, um, and you said this keyword as well, is having clarity. Having clarity in how you engage with which part of or which aspect of yourself. I think you did a two-tier question, being 10 times more honest, and which parts of your life are you lacking that 10 times greater honesty? For me, it would have to be relationships. In relationships, being part of the past situations or past dealings that I had to overcome, and I'm still overcoming, but gaining clarity. I'm someone that must be hmm, logical before it becomes heart centered. But what I need to do is become heart centered first, and then kind of have that follow through and reflection afterwards. What I've been doing this week is relating to being more honest with myself, is begin, and this is practice that everyone can do, by the way, is you can find a list of values that are listed. There's also an ebook that the Blooming Confidence Club provides. And one thing that you can do is go through a needs assessment or needs and values. And what I want everyone to do is which words are impactful to you. At least this is what I did in my experience, is I felt certain words having more energy or more responsive to me right now. And then what I did after about 15 value words was break that down into where am I being active? Where am I showing up right now? What am I able to give and provide in every resource of conversation that I have, whether it is with my health, whether it is in relationships, both work and personal and other. Where at in my self-reflection am I able to give that? So active, active, active. But then don't only stop there and ignore the rest, because that gap is where you tend to have that lack. And for me, it was reactive. Where am I being reactive, and more so negatively? And there are about 4 or 5 that I was strongly reactive to that actually created less happiness, less honesty, less showing up, less satisfaction. And those reactive words is now what I'm working on, because those are the most pressing. It's not always the ones that are working right now that come easily to us, because once we master them, it becomes embodied. It becomes more conscious or thereof. But the reactive ones are the ones that are in lack, are the ones that are maybe more difficult, are the lessons that we're needing to overcome and learn, whether it is in work and relationships and health and whatever thing you're going through. So active, reactive, and then maybe passive. Some things that are coming up that are emerging, but you just completely want to forget. But it may also be an underlying impact. And there are about 2 or 3 of those values that I'm not showing up to because I'm too sidetracked with
Yes.
other relations.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I always commend you for taking the work that we're doing in the Blooming Confidence Club, and even bringing it to another level. It's really fascinating to witness your passion, and to see that the work that we do is so powerful and is ever evolving. Let me bring to the screen the comment by Michael, who says that if he would be 10 times more honest in his family relationships, he would be better supported, since he wouldn't be taking on more responsibility than it is healthy for him. And this is something that we all tend to do, and especially people who are the nurturer archetype. And I'm bringing the archetypes because yesterday I launched I released a very powerful tool. I already have people who have responded to the clarity archetype quiz. So if you want me to share it with you, and this is really a great tool for people who are in any type of leadership position, who are business owners, who are active facilitators of change, transformation, or healing in others, because this is the language that I'm using in this tool, in this quiz. Type below hashtag quiz, and I'm going to share the link with you to this free quiz. And after that, everyone, according to their archetype, will receive the very detailed report. So let me just okay, let me do that. Yeah, Catherine, can you please share with us about your experience doing the quiz today? Because you messaged me and we had a bit of laugh, because you're a nurturer, I'm a nurturer, and the nurturers are the ones who tend to put not every, but most of other people's needs before theirs. And when we come to this level of self awareness and understanding the importance of honoring our own needs so that we could be of better service to others,
Yeah.
sometimes we need to find this um, maybe shortcut to make ourselves start taking care of ourselves if we need this type of excuse. This is something that I'm telling to my mother: please take care of yourself and be longer healthy and alive and in a vibrant mood, so that you can serve us, your children and grandchildren, better. So yeah, tell us about your experience with the clarity archetype quiz today.
Yeah, I went through it, and I was not I know it, but I was expecting maybe a little bit of change, but it just came out. I said, okay, I know it already. And yes, but I'm also learning that if you don't take care of yourself first, because we have that tendency to always take care of other people, make sure that they are well, everything is is available for them when they need your attention, and sometimes you forget about yourself. But by accepting that it is right to take care of yourself so that you can fill your cup, so you can give more to others. But if you are in an empty cup, you are not strong enough, and you can't give anything to others. So it is very important, and I have experienced it personally, that when you really start accepting yourself, your needs, and give the right attention to yourself, the love, empathy, then you can do so much more for others. And you are more active, you are more brilliant in any service you want to give to others. So yes, it's very important.
Thank you,
Self,
thank you
yeah,
for
self,
sharing, Catherine.
yeah,
Mm.
self-acceptance first of all.
Yeah,
And
and self honesty and radical honesty is so
absolutely,
important, especially for us caregivers, nurturers, mentors, coaches, facilitators, other people who are taking care of others, leaders, heart centered leaders. When we start practicing this radical self honesty and seeing what we're doing and depleting ourselves, this takes courage to be able to open your eyes to
absolutely,
look and see what really is going on, because then it takes another level of courage to start working with your inner critic, with your judge, because it's so easy to say, oh, and start beating yourself up and use all possible ways to criticize, to find the flaws, and forget about the strengths, forget about the power, forget about the impact that we are creating. So yeah, it's exciting.
and I think it's very important even to be consistent in doing, because sometimes we can have it for You say, okay, now I need to take care of myself. Then you forget about it because you are so involved in with taking care about others. You forget about it. But
Yeah.
being putting down a plan, okay, say yes, and just putting it, or even on the calendar, so that you remind yourself, like any other activity, that is an important part of your life, that you
Yeah.
need to take care of you before you can do anything else. So you have more energy. You have, and then, in life we have challenges. If we are not, if we are not taking care of ourselves, then it becomes even a little bit difficult, more difficult to make changes, to face challenges. And and we already know that our mission is to take care of others, but it has to be a mission even for taking care of others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, this was great. Okay, so for us to wrap it up today, and it's always hard because these are all my favorite topics and with my favorite partners in co creation here. But I want to ask you, Johnny, and Catherine, also everyone who's watching us live or watching the replay, to answer this question, what permission are you ready to give yourself today so that you enjoy your life with a higher level of honesty, self-acceptance, and self-awareness? Yeah, and I have to say to our viewers that these are not scheduled questions. I never prepare the people who are here with me uh, because I love to see the total presence, the eyes, the mental energy becoming so condensed so that it gets expressed. So
Yeah.
let me while you're thinking, I will share the comment by Michael on screen, who says, if I were 10 times more courageous, I would take care of myself consistently and love myself unconditionally, knowing that I'm deserving of self care. That is the radical truth. Amazing. I absolutely agree with you, Michael. So let me hear from Catherine and from Johnny, and then we will wrap this beautiful, heartfelt conversation on the topic of radical honesty, radical self honesty.
Okay, so honestly, um,
Honestly, only honestly.
honestly, I I'm going to start celebrating myself. Okay, celebrating myself for what I've done, any small or big, anything that I have done today. I celebrate myself for doing it, for being here present. I will celebrate myself because I know that it is something that what we are doing right now can be very helpful for someone who needs to hear what we are talking about, to maybe um, to make changes and be honest with themselves, looking at their needs, and acknowledging the power of of being divine human beings. So that is something very powerful that I want to do and celebrate with others and myself.
Thank
And
you, Catherine.
then sure,
This
yeah, just be have gratitude of what that life is here for me, and I have just to appreciate it and enjoy it.
This is very beautiful, and I invite everyone to follow Catherine's advice and commitment. She's committing to start celebrating herself regularly, and I invite you also to commit to yourself to find at least one small reason for celebration daily. Maybe if you find it so hard, because I know for many people this is not the case, this is not part of any ritual or habit, and all of a sudden to start celebrating yourself daily is going to be really high pressure. So weekly create a ritual, or even monthly, but dedicate it, put it, as she said, in your calendar, and find a way to celebrate it in an easy way that doesn't require any big preparation. so that you're not giving yourself an excuse to not do it, right? And feel free to share with us below what is the way you choose to start celebrating yourself so that we hold you accountable. Be personally accountable, publicly accountable. Message us if you need some support. But I'm looking forward to see more celebration, more fun, and more joy. And Johnny, what is the permission that you're giving yourself today in relation to radical self honesty, self acceptance, self love, self trust,
Mm.
self
Mm.
awareness?
Of course. So Catherine touched on celebrating the self and nurturing and giving self-love to the self, which is highly important. And I double confirm that as well. I'll go the other side and celebrating others in a place of stepping up and congratulating others or being interested when having conversations is just being present, open, and honest, and even having a sense of gratitude for others. So saying a few words of gratitude, of thankfulness. It doesn't have to be anything too big or without thought, just like this in spontaneity, and that way creating a more honest and open conversation rather than trying to play it on the other side. So that's what I is coming up right now. Sharing the story and also that authentic connection with someone else close.
Very beautiful, very beautiful. Coming from the inside, also seeing the connection and the expression on the answer on the outside. And here I want to add something that we talked about on Tuesday, which is also related to a conversation I had on social media with someone when I said that when we feel triggered by someone or by situation, or we feel that we're triggered by this particular person, what helps me be more connected or feel more connected with me, with my truth, with my essence, is when I try to connect with their higher potential, with their higher self, knowing that in every given moment in our reality, the way we express ourselves in a personal relationship, in the actions we're taking, in the way we are creating, we're just expressing a tiny bit of the whole potential that we carry, of the potential of our soul, of our higher being. Of it depends on the wording and your spiritual connections or alignment. It could be God's light. It could be anything, but I like to do, and it took me years to develop it, but now it's becoming automatic. I like to step outside of my physical being and self-expression and step into the shoes of my higher self and communicate with the higher self of the person in front of me and be really compassionate, really accepting, really understanding, which is not always easy, especially when we feel hurt. But what helps is to start with acknowledging our emotions, how we feel around them, work with our wounds, and then when the time is right, to connect on a different level with the people with whom life bring us in touch with daily. So thank you so much for being here with me, co-creating with me, Catherine and Johnny. Thank you, everyone who watched us. I'm reminding you, if you haven't followed the whole conversation from the beginning, which is almost 50 minutes, at certain point I mentioned the Clarity Archetype quiz. If you want to go through it and develop a higher level of self-awareness, message me privately or comment below #quiz, and I'm going to send you the link. I'm accepting 100 entries for now. It is a brand new quiz that I developed from scratch yesterday, and after the first 100 admissions, I'm going to rework it and up level it, because the people who have been working with me over the years know that all my work is a constant work in progress. The way I evolve, my tools evolve, my work evolves, my communities evolve. So type below #quiz and I'm going to send it to you. Until next Thursday, the topic is yet to be determined on Tuesday when we get together with the members of the Blooming Confidence Club. If you're interested about it, again, you can message me and inquire. inquire about the club. For now, sending you lots of love from my heart to yours, and I will see you. I will see you around.
Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you,
Thank,
Johnny, and thank you, Michael, and everyone else who was here with us.
thank you.
I'm Iskra Petrova, clarity and confidence coach and a self-empowerment mentor, and I'm really thrilled to be able to offer you these spaces weekly. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. I will